Welcome to another episode of Smarter Anesthesia, where we study smarter, not harder. Before we begin, we want to make sure you are using this episode the right way to maximize your learning. These questions were designed to train your brain and mouth. These are skills you have not trained before, because this will be the first time you are doing an oral exam. Thus, these questions are a little bit harder than the official standardized oral exam because we want to push you to your limits. We want to make you uncomfortable because that's when we will see your bad habits come out. Despite being flustered or not knowing the exact answer, we still expect you to answer creatively, to display some sort of knowledge, and to display some sort of confidence. The confidence is not that you know everything. That would be considered arrogance. The confidence we are looking for is the belief that you will be able to do the right thing even when you aren't sure about the answer. As a patient and an examiner, we want to know that you have a solid foundation, but also that you are humble enough to know your own limits. We are looking for a doctor that won't give up on us, but will find the answer when things get rough. We want to know that your logic and reasoning are sound, even though you might be missing a key piece of knowledge. For this exam, your goal is to present yourself well. You need to channel your inner actor and quote, fake it until you make it. You may not feel confident, but we need you to act like you are confident. As an examinee, your goal should be to act confident, competent, and flexible. Finally, we encourage you to study smarter. But what does that mean? That means you should listen to these questions, answer out loud while looking at a picture of someone. Pick any famous celebrity on the internet. You need to practice talking to someone while looking them in the eye. Next, after you finish the questions, reflect on your exam. How was your presentation? What speaking pattern did you use? Did you use the Smarter Anesthesia techniques? Most importantly, now that you know the questions, how would you answer these questions differently to make your presentation sound better? Remember, you don't have any new knowledge. What you know is what you know. So, you have to creatively answer the questions with what you know. This is the key to studying smarter. The standardized oral exam is a presentation exam, and you need to force your brain to answer creatively to make yourself sound confident, competent, and flexible with the information that you have already. This is the hardest part of your journey and the part that most students skip. This is the reason people fail. Instead of finding creative answers, students default to the mindset that they didn't know enough. They falsely believe that if they memorized a few more random factoids, they would have aced this exam. This is patently wrong and will lead you to fail. It's not the facts that lead you to failure, it's your presentation. Force your brain to present better with the limited knowledge you already have. If you have secured a few study buddies, ask them for feedback or different ways to answer the same questions. The textbook answer is not what is important. It's how they put that information together to make it sound good. After you have reflected, after you have received feedback, and after you have re-answered the question yourself, then it will be time to look up the answers. If you have the Smarter Anesthesia question book, it will just shortcut you to the answer so you don't have to look it up yourself. The reason you should study in this order is because this is the most efficient way to perfect your presentation skills. It is slower than just memorizing facts, but it is what you need for an oral exam. You can run a marathon and feel super productive putting in all those steps. But all that running is useless if you are running in the wrong direction. You would have been better off walking as long as you were walking towards the finish line. If you are studying smarter, the first 4 steps we mentioned, which are answering out loud to a picture, reflection, feedback, and redoing the question, those 4 steps should be 80% of your studying time. The last 20% of your studying time is looking up the information and memorizing those random facts, but you have to do it in that order. The last reason you should do it in this order is because the facts you will memorize will now have clinical context and an emotional context. That piece of information is tied to a clinical scenario and tied to possibly stress. The memories that last the longest in your brain are the ones that are associated with a strong emotion, whether it be a happy thought or a sad one. That is why you need to study in this order. This is an oral exam, not a multiple choice exam. Alright, let's do this. These are short stem type questions. For the exam, see how long it takes you. That's why you need to time yourself. It should take you less than 30 seconds per question. You should be able to answer 20 to 25 questions within 10 minutes. If it takes you longer, you probably are not speaking efficiently. For brainstorming, it should be about less than 5 minutes. If you are having trouble figuring out how this is supposed to sound, feel free to jump over to the SmarterAnesthesia question book. The book sheds light onto common student answers, which we call the harder, unpolished answer. The book also analyzes what are the common mistakes you are probably doing. We then cover a better way to answer the question using the knowledge you already possess. Lastly, instead of wasting time having to look up the information, we already have curated for you the pearls of wisdom you need to know. That's it for this episode. If you found this session helpful, hit the like button. It motivates us to create more free content. Next, hit the subscribe button to get notified whenever we release a new episode. Feel free to email us at smarteranesthesia@gmail.com anytime. We're here to help you. We offer a 30-minute evaluation, give customized study tips, and help point you in the right direction. It's all free, just like this podcast. Alright, let us know what you think. Continue to email us your suggestions, and we will continue to improve this community. Until next time, study smarter, not harder, from your host of Smarter Anesthesia. Talk to you soon.